You're listening to Storage Nerds Podcast, where we unravel the best-kept secret of the real estate investing world, the storage industry. Join the grassroots guru in self-storage, Stacy in insightful discussions about finding, funding, and running these spaces, allowing you to yield the highest returns possible. Get your foot in the door on self-storage and discover how to properly purchase facilities, negotiate with sellers, and close the deal without worries. Start unpacking that investment wisdom with Stacy right now.
So what I wanted to show you guys today, what I wanted to go over is I talked a little bit about the management stuff for us, right? And the reason I kind of bring that up is because I'm actually in the process right now of selling 3 of my facilities. So we are getting to the point internally, when I started investing in self-storage, I started in 2016. We bought our first facility in 2017. So I have not been investing in self-storage that long. And our very first handful of facilities that we bought were, small facilities, just like I teach, right? Just like small facilities. And luckily when I got into storage, in 2017 is when we bought our first facility. Not people wanted to get into storage, honestly. That was back in the day when we were still just coming out of the bubble and people were really kind of going towards multifamily. Not a lot of people really wanted to get into storage. And so it was really a good time for me to be in the storage industry because I could just drive around and just talk to owners and then just give them an offer and they'd be like, yeah, all right, let's do it, So we bought 3 facilities and I want to go over those because I want to go through the liquidations process that I'm going through because we are selling 3 of our facilities right now. And I have never sold a facility before. So, it's a new thing for me too. But the thing is that I talk to a lot of owners. You don't even know how many owners I talk to on a weekly basis and how many offers we put in, how many deals we look at. I looked today, I had a weekly team meeting with my virtual assistants and we analyzed 30 deals today. All right. And we put offers in probably half of those, and we're getting a good handful, probably 5 of those under contract. Okay. So I analyze on a weekly basis. I'm analyzing a lot of deals. And, the one thing that's really frustrating to me is that, first of all, I've talked about this several times on some of my past, training sessions. And I did one just maybe a month ago or a couple of weeks ago on the difference between talking to people, talking to realtors on CREXI versus talking to owners. And, when you talk to owners and you're cold calling owners to see if they want an offer, they're not ready to sell. They are not ready to sell. And so, to get all the information that you need in order to run deal analysis is really like pulling teeth, honestly. So you just have to be really patient in that process and you have to really be on top of everything in order to get all that. But, so when I see that, I see how difficult it is to get information. And honestly, the truth is even when you go on, if you talk to a realtor and you're getting information, realtors contact me all the time and say, look, I have a deal ready. I mean, I had one guy that a realtor contact me. He's like, I have a deal in Arkansas. Do you want to take a look at that? And I said, yeah, sure. And he sent me one document, which was a spreadsheet with some numbers on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to make a decision on whether I want this deal, with just this one document. I was like, where are all the things that I need, right? That I need. So whatever I need in order to run deal analysis, I'm going to show you that today. All right. And in the same respect, whatever a buyer is, whenever a buyer is looking at the deal, they're also going to need that information, right? And whenever a lender is looking at that deal, they are also going to need that information. So, a lot of people don't realize that, but you need a lot of information, a lot of information to kind of give you a good overview of if it's a good deal or not, right? Now, in order to run a quick deal analysis, I say this over and over again, you don't need P&Ls and balance sheets and all this kind of stuff. Like you just need like certain numbers, and you need the question to be, okay, I'm going to run my numbers on the information that you gave me, but can you prove this information? Because if you can prove it, then this is going to be my offer, right? It's going to be somewhere around this. But if you can't prove this information, then I can't really give you an offer. And so that's the question that we ask the owners all the time is, can you prove that information? So in the same respect, me selling my properties, I wanted to be able to say, yes, I can prove the numbers that I'm showing everybody in this pitch that I'm pitching to everybody. So I wanted to just go through that with you, my pitch on the 3 facilities that we're selling, and give you an idea of like how we put all the information together to run deal analysis, so you get an idea. And then at the same time, all that same information is exactly what you're going to need when you want to sell your facilities, right? Or if somebody wants to look at your facilities. All right, these are the 3 facilities. I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what we put together. So in order to run deal analysis, okay. So these 3 facilities that we're selling are they are suburbs of Atlanta. Okay, and I'll show you on the map where they are. But essentially, Fairburn, you see here, Fairburn, if anybody knows, Fairburn is like right next to the airport, like kind of right south of the airport. South, these are all south, kind of like southwest Atlanta. Okay, and so Fairburn is right south, like maybe 15 minutes south of the airport. And then Noonan is about maybe 25 minutes south of Fairburn. And then Franklin is probably around about 20 minutes or 30 minutes south of Noonan, right? So it's kind of like a line, really, is how it is. Let me show you if I have So the one thing that we always do is we put together what we call an executive summary, right? Some people call it OM or whatever you want to call it. We call it the executive summary, okay? And this document really like kind of explains, which property you're trying to sell or which property you're, the information. So it's an overall explanation of that. So you could see here, like we have the 3 facilities here, Fairburn, this is Fairburn, Franklin, and Noonan, okay? And you say, here's Fairburn, so here's the picture of it. So you could see, so it's like we just painted this facility. It's brand new painted. Looks good, doesn't it? We probably should have painted it a couple of years ago, but we were just too cheap, right? We were full all the time, and there was like really no reason to paint it. But because we're selling, we decided to paint it so that the next person can have like a really nice facility. Okay, I'll show you the property. Here's the 4 pictures of it. So it's all nice, fenced, looks really good. And then here's the location, it's in Atlanta. All right, it's just right south of Atlanta, right south is where Fairburn is located, okay? And so this is the pictures of what it looked like before. So it's concrete block, all right? And then also another thing about this facility is this property right here. Let's see if I can draw on this. Yeah, this property right here, okay, is it's a commercial space. It's a mechanic. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 bays. There's 4 bays. And so this guy, we charge him $1,000 a month, which is probably not a lot of money. It probably could go for more, but he's been there for like 10 years. So when we bought the place, he was there. And this is a mechanic, is what it is. So it comes with a commercial property. And so there's 4 bays, and then he parks his mechanic car sometimes in the front and then around the back is what it is. Okay. So you can see Fairburn has like 17,000 people in it. Within a 10-mile radius, there's 300,000 people. Okay, so there's a lot of people in Fairburn. So this is like primary market. Okay, here's the property. So you could see it, right? It's a square shape property, and this right here you can see is where the mechanic is. So he has his bays, and then he parks his cars in the back that he works on. And this area is fenced in for him. And then our area is fenced in for like the storage. Okay. So our storage is really just has 2 buildings, 1, 2. All right, it's like 60 units, so it's not a very big. All three of them are only 60 doors. This is not a large. These are our first three facilities. You know what I'm saying? So they were like not big. Okay, so that's here, and then we go on. And these are competitors. All right, these are all the competitors. So obviously we're in primary market. So our competitors are like U-Haul and Extra Space Storage and this kind of stuff. And there's only like one storage facility that is, small, like smaller than us, or like, not small, like it's actually a little bit bigger than us, but it's like, one of the like mom and pop ones. Okay. So there's really honestly not a lot of competitor, like apples to apples competitors for us in this area. All of the big box have, they came in and they kind of like started building and stuff, because it's just growing so fast. And you could see, here's the competitors. You could see the presentation, right? So now we're presenting. When I look at this, see, my virtual assistants put this together, because when I run deal analysis, the only thing I really look at is this and the deal analyzer. Okay, I'm going to show you what else we put in there, but this is kind of what I look at. It gives me an overview of the deal, and then I look at the numbers. Okay, Franklin, Georgia is the next one, and so you can see this is a nice facility. It's also 60 doors, but it has a couple of bigger size units. Like I think we have like a 20 by 30 that we rent for like $400 or $500 a month. Like it has a couple of bigger doors. And this is that we just put brand new gravel down everywhere. So it's like it's a nice facility. It's gated. It's got a keypad and everything, and it's on a kind of a bigger lot, right? So it's a good size lot. Maybe there's a little bit of space in the back where you might be able to add some units, but you can see that I'm showing pictures of the facility, showing the location. Right, where it's at on the map, the street view of what it looks like. It's Franklin is basically a little tiny town, right? There's it's like literally, it's like a little tiny town. There's like 1,000 people there. It's got Piggly Wiggly there, okay. But there's 12,000 people within a 10-mile radius, right? So you're going like from Fairburn to Noonan, and then Noonan to Franklin. So Fairburn to Noonan is like I would consider primary market. And then from Noonan to Franklin, you're kind of going out into the country is what you're doing. So that's kind of why, it gets, it's, but this is in Coweta County, and Coweta County is like the fastest growing county and one of the fastest growing counties in Georgia. Okay, so here's the property. You can see it here too. So you can see it's kind of like you've got this property on the back end too. You've got this front property. You've got some property over here. So you may be able to add some units, but we never added any units. We just stabilized the property is what we did, okay? So that's us. And you can see the bigger units, like this is a bigger unit and this is a bigger unit. And these are kind of just regular units. And so that's this one. Here's the competitor. There are a couple of competitors. There's a couple of storage facilities in Franklin. We're all full. Actually, Franklin, of all three of our facilities, Franklin is always full. Always full. This one is we always make the most amount of money. We're always at like 95% full on this thing. We do auctions, and then it takes a little while to get it filled up, but then we're back full again, that kind of a thing. All right, so these are the competitors, A to Z. And then here, this guy like never answers his phone, this County Line Storage. And then finally Noonan. And Noonan, you can see here, it's got 2 buildings, also 60 doors, and it's also got parking. You can see it's got parking right here. It's got parking in the front. It's got parking over here, and then it's also got parking over here. This property is included. We never did anything with this property. So definitely you could like rework all this and do some boat and RV parking. You could add more units, whatever you want. And so this is the facility itself. And it's, same area, right south of Atlanta. And this is what it looks like. It's all 3 of the properties are on major roads, like just major busy roads. So very, very good right off the road. So Noonan has 43,000 people in it in the demographic. And then within a 10-mile radius is 100,000, and a 5-mile radius, there's 5,000. I mean, sorry, there's 45,000. So, and then a 3, there's 13,000. So this is a very populated area as well, too. So Nuna is very populated. And so, and then this one, you can see this property as well, too. You can see it's got kind of this weird shape, but there's a whole bunch of area in the back to add on. And then the side is where, this is where all that parking is. You could reconfigure that and do parking. So it's like a lot of really good space. When I'm looking at my deals, I am looking at like how much, space and land and area there is. And can I add on or not add on, right? And most likely we're not going to add on because we don't do that. We stabilize. When I sell it to the end buyer, I want to make sure that there's like some meat on the bones, because our goal is to get our properties, as close to fair market value as possible for the rents, right? And if there's no meat on the bone, then it's going to be very hard for us to, to sell the property. So we want to make sure that, you can at least increase the rents a little bit and you can add some room. And I really like this portfolio because we thought a lot about which facilities we wanted to sell. And, because we're in the process of buying, like we have another facility under contract and we're about to get like 3 more facilities under contract. So like we're really in the process of trying to figure out which facilities we want to sell from our smaller facilities so that we can buy these bigger ones that we're looking at. Okay. Here's a competitor. This is new competitor number: Secure Self Storage, U-Haul, Stormark, Bryson. It's very good, right? So that's the executive summary. So I want to make sure that you saw that, so you kind of have an idea. When I'm looking at my deals, like the virtual assistants, they have to put an executive summary together for me, because I really just quickly look through this to give me an overall idea of what the facilities look like. And then I can, from there, right, I can go to, I can look at the deal analyzer. So, and then you can see how I separated this out. Okay, so we separated out each facility, Fairburn, Franklin, and Noonan, into 3 different folders. And then we made another folder, which we put all 3 of them together and we ran the numbers together. So we separated everything out and we put it all together. So that way we could, look at them individually and then look at them together. Now, the truth is like, if I was just going to sell one of these, this portfolio would not be as valuable as me selling 3 of them. And so that is our goal. And that's really our goal, is like, if I find a facility, like, so for instance, like we just put, Leesburg under contract, or we just bought Leesburg. So like, I'm like, okay, now what other facilities in that area can I buy so that I can create like a mini portfolio? Or, I just bought something in Clarksville, Tennessee. Are there any facilities in that area that I can buy where I can create a mini portfolio so that when I do sell, I can sell it to, I can make more money on it? All right. So that's why we create mini portfolios. And I have basically like, because we own, the 15 storage facilities we own. One is in Tennessee. That's the first one outside of Georgia, Florida. But we have the Georgia. In Georgia, we have North Georgia, right? And then we have the Atlanta portfolio. And then we have like a South Georgia portfolio. And then we have a Florida portfolio. Okay. So that's kind of how, if you envision, we have 4 different mini portfolios where we just have like one boots on the ground person that manages all of them. So these 3 people, we have a guy, Chris, that manages these facilities for us. And that's what his job is, to manage all 3 of them. And that's a full-time job, to walk through the properties every week and look at the properties, and take care of the properties. He's at these properties, 1 day a week, every week, to pick up trash, do walkthroughs, whatever it is that needs to get done. So that's that. Now I'm going to just open up one of these folders. And I'm going to just open this, like I'll just open the Fairburn one up right now. And so then now you can see inside this folder, doesn't that look so pretty? I mean, it's just like everything's so named like properly, like you could totally tell where everything is. This is like one thing that I started like 10 years ago. I started everybody that works for me, the rule is like my Google Drive folders have to be like perfect, because when I search something, I want to be able to find it. I hate it when like it's like you can't tell what it is. You have to open everything and stuff, just like organized. So anyway, so that's kind of how we do it. So you can see now what are the things that you need in order to determine, if the deal is a good deal or not. Guess what? It's all right here for you. It's all right here. So we go to ReGrid. ReGrid is free. That's why our virtual assistants go there. And that's where we pull all the property information. Okay. So remember this is what we showed you, right? Of Fairburn. So this is coming off of ReGrid. And then it has also like the data and stuff on it, the information, the parcel number, the owner's information is all there. Okay. So that's why we use ReGrid. And then we have the photos. So we've looked at you've seen all the photos of the facility, right? And those were all on the executive summary. All this information that you see us going through is really put onto the executive summary because I was looking at so many deals and I'd have to open up all the folders. And I was like, you know what? No, I was like, I can't do that anymore. I was like, can you please just put everything onto an executive summary? So we started doing executive summaries, and you saw how nice that executive summary, that's what our VAs do for executive summaries. Aren't those so nice? Like they just like get totally into it and stuff. I love our VAs. They're just awesome. Oh yeah, you see here we have the 3, 5, and 10 mile radius. These are the demographics that you saw in the executive summary of the population, the household income, this kind of stuff, right? That's all the demographics. We put those into the folder. And then Google Maps, right? So I make them, do Google Maps and show me on the map like where the facilities are located. So they do screenshots and put them in so that we know. And then remember, you have all the competition, he put all the competitors for this one. He just put it on the deal analyzer. That's what he did. But you can see the competition is here and what all of the competitors are charging, right? For all of the facilities that we own. Now, obviously you can see this facility has like a lot of different sizes. This facility has a lot of different sizes. Like this owner, I'm telling you, when he built this facility, he was like, "Oh, I got this much space. Let me put a storage in that." Like he really kind of he planned it out. And so that's kind of how it worked. He's like, I have this much space. I need this much turnaround. Let me just try to figure out what I can configure. Because, he built this with concrete blocks and stuff. He didn't build it himself, but he planned it out himself. And so competition is there. And then we have demographics, right? Okay, so this is the JPEG, right? That we pulled. The Fairburn population is there. And let's see what else. Okay, so that's kind of all the general stuff, right, that you would get for a deal. And so then what we did is we put in our P&L, we put in our management summaries. The management summary is what you pull from storage. Let me just pull this up. It's like, this is what, it came directly from storage, and it shows we've made $61,588. It shows you all of our leads, all of our allowances, occupancy, economic occupancy, all kinds of stuff in here, right? So then we put those in there for everybody so everybody could actually see our true numbers. And that goes to December 31st, 2022. We just put last year's in is what we put in. But for the P&L, we put in the 2020, the 2021, the 2022, and the 2023. All right. And then on the P&L, you can see how we set up our chart of accounts, how we set everything up. Here's all of our expenses. Here's our management process, the management expenses. Here's the merchant fee. Here's the mortgage. Here's our office expenses. Here's our repairs and maintenance, right? And that's total expenses. Okay, total income, total expenses right here. This is for 2023, but this is how our P&L is set up internally in our company. Okay, so super organized. You have every year that you need, 3 years, because that's what the bank is going to. Remember, I stabilized these properties. So I took them from not making any money to, making money. I borrowed the money from private lenders to buy them, right? And now I get to sell them as income producing property. So as an income producing property, you should be able to go to a bank and get a loan on the property. Right. So in order to go to a bank and get a loan, then you need to be able to show P&Ls and balance sheets and all kinds of stuff, and like every facility that we've ever bought, we never got any of that. Nothing, a whole lot of nothing. All right. So the Leesburg one and the Clarksville one, we didn't get really anything at all. Okay. We got like a rent roll and like some sort of spreadsheet is basically what we got for both of them. But that's why we got those. We bought those really 50 cents on the dollar. So both of those facilities. So we bought both of those facilities like $2.5 million. And in 2 to 3 years, we'll be able to stabilize those properties and make them worth well over $5 million. Okay. That's 50. So mismanaged properties, you should be buying like 50 cents on the dollar. But income producing properties, you're not going to be buying 50 cents on the dollar. You're going to be buying them like, for like top amount of money. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get the most amount of money that I can possibly get. Okay. And so because of that, I am thinking about what I need in order to show that these properties are worth what I'm saying that they're worth. And that's what I'm showing you. Most owners, 80% of all owners do not do this. Because I'm telling you, I got 20,000 storage facilities in my list. All right. And 80% of those would not be able to show this at all. All right. Your goal when you buy a storage facility is to do what I'm doing here. Okay. So this is the P&L. That's the management summary. We also put in our general ledger. The general ledger for all 4 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. Now, why would we do that? Because we want to show the banks and the buyers that we took it from making this much income to this much income. All right. That's what we want to show. And the general ledger will show that to you. A general ledger looks like this, right? It's going to show you like what your credit card fees are, what your late fee revenue is, right? You got to remember now you're paying credit cards and then you're also getting a lot of revenue from your late fees. And then also your security deposits or office space revenue. Yeah, so this one you can see here, like as of this month, right? We haven't gotten May's rent yet, but January, February, March, and April, we got $1,000 a month. So we have $4,000 of revenue from the office space, which is really the mechanic, but we just called it office space, is what we call it. Okay, and you can see our rental revenue. You can see all the information there. That is what the general ledger shows you. And then we've got what else did we got? Balance sheet. All right. I think I just did 2023 balance sheet. Yeah, I just did this past year's balance sheet. This shows you what your liability is, right? And how much do you owe and how much do you have in assets, right? So I'm not going to pull that up, but y'all, that's what that is. You definitely have to have the balance sheet all nice, beautiful looking and everything. Okay, so then finally the deal analyzer. That's the last thing. Now, you guys all know that I use my own deal analyzer, and everybody should be using some sort of a deal analyzer, if not mine. If you want to use mine, just go to my website. You can just buy it, right? Now, I did not put my deal analyzer into the folder because when I share my folder out to everybody that wants to buy this, I'm not going to share my deal analyzer, right? But I just take screenshots and I just show, I just pull up the numbers, okay? And I just show them this way is what I do. So you can see that this one has 55 doors. It's 68 square feet. It's 35% vacant, right? Because we just did a whole bunch of auctions on this one and stuff and cleaned it up. And then it's making $48,000 and it's 35% vacant. We're at 94 cents a square foot. This number is is this number right here, 98 cents, I'm sorry, is coming from the competition, right? So we're basically kind of where everybody else is in the area, but we're at 98 cents, but we should be at 98 cents. So there's a little room to add. And you can see that I should be making $70,000 on this property, right? But we've only made 50 grand. Now remember, this is only storage. This office space is not included. The office space is not included. And also you can see here, we made it very clear. This is Q2, 3, and 4 of 2022 and Q1 of 2023. So we took 1 year, and that's how we ran our numbers. Okay, that's how we ran the last year. This is how we've done. Okay. And as you can see, our property taxes and this kind of stuff here. Okay. So you can see that the property is valued at $568,000. We put the number purchase price at 600 grand. That's how we ran our numbers. And it comes out, the potential, if you can raise the rents, is coming out to around 900 to 950 grand. And then I put in the unit mix, right? So we put all the unit mix in so you can see our unit mix is here. This is our unit mix. We have 56 including the office space, and then 8392 including the office space. So 6568 is the space for the facility, and then 8392 is like our total with the mechanic and all his his area. Okay, we're making so average, so the current that's including this would be $10,000 a month. Right, with the office space, $10,000 a month if we were full, and if you raise the rent, you'd be making around $12,000 a month. And that these numbers are our actual numbers. All right, so I want it to be as as real as possible, because I'm just tired of owners just lying to you. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to just not be that person. Okay, so then here is this is what we call our after updates. So our opportunity. This is the opportunity of the deal, right? So you can see that we put the $12,000 for the income once we get it full, and once we increase the rates to 98 cents a square foot, right? And we add the $12,000. Now, we did not increase the price of the rental. You could probably get out of him without leaving, I bet $1,200 to $1,400. Right? You could probably get that out of him. He's due for a raise, right? But we just never did, honestly, because Pete's just too nice, And so, but you could probably increase that and increase the number to $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, whatever. But we just left it. And then you could see here that our effective gross income is $83,000 and our expenses run $25,000. Our expenses, I'll go over our expenses really fast, but you can see that the net operating income is $57,000 once you increase it and get it up to date. But we show that, right? We show the current numbers, right? So our NOI is $34,000 on this deal. And then we show the after updates as well. So I kind of just showed all the numbers to everybody so they could see that. I wanted to make sure that you saw that we do now. Okay, actually real fast. If I go into Franklin, which is the same, right? The same, one of the other facilities, same concept. Everything will be exactly the same, just for Franklin. Okay. And then in Noonan, you could see same concept, same folders, everything's there. Super organized for somebody to get in there and find what they need. In fact, we've had several lenders look at this deal, and within a couple hours, they say yes or no. It literally takes them that long, to look. That's what you want. That's what you want. All right. Okay. So now you can see, so for all three of them, we put everything together. The executive summary is here. And then we have the P&L for all three of them, right? For all 4 years is here combined, right? So you can see, you can see the same format on the P&L. And then we've made $48,000, $49,000 this year. You see how much expenses we have. And, all of our expenses all the way to the end are here. Okay. So you can see that. And then, so we have the P&Ls available for all three of them. We have the balance sheet available, all 3 years for the balance sheet. So you can see all that. And then we also have the deal analyzer, same concept, right? But it's just now all, you don't have to put the competition and everything into this one because it's in the other ones, right? But you can see now that, our total annual income for the storage, remember, because you can't include boat and RV parking, which we have at Noonan, and you can't include the commercial space into the storage because that will just screw the numbers up, right? It'll screw your price per square foot up. So you want to evaluate every income separately. It's we make $139,000. It's 168 units. It's 18,600 square feet. We're at 82 cents a square foot, and we're 24% vacant because we just did a lot of auctions. So we're starting to lease up already. But and then the average price per square foot should be at 97 cents. So we are not where we should be on the prices. We haven't increased the rents because we've been vacant, trying to fill up after these. We did in 1 month, I think it was January, I think we did 150 auctions. Because you have to remember, we had 1,500 doors. Now we have 2,000 doors. So you just do it. If you do an auction once every couple of months, Bonnie, she only does auctions for us and she is just always busy. All right. So, and then you can see our expenses are all here. This is the actual expenses that we took from our P&L and put them into here. These are our expenses that we took from property taxes, utilities, and insurance. We just combined them all into one deal analyzer. You could see the valuation for the 139,000 should be 199 is at 1.6. Right. And if you get it to the 97 cents, then you'll have it at $2.5 million. We ran the numbers at 1.8. 1.8 is a good, I ran it at a 6.5, but I think it's a good number for that area. We'll see what we get. I don't know, but that's what I ran the numbers at. I thought that was kind of fair. And then you can see here, actually, let me go back to the current. Yeah, the current is, you can see here where we added the income. Parking Noonan. We made it very clear for y'all, didn't we? Huh? And then Mechanic Fairburn, 12,000. And then we put our expenses in. It costs us $54,000 a year to manage these facilities. And your NOI is at $106,000. So you see that. And then after updates, right, you can see that we did not increase the rent for the storage. We did not, for the parking, we did not add that in as extra income. You can do that. And then we didn't add in you adding any more units to Noonan or wherever you can find space to add units or parking. We did not put that in, just what we have right now. And then the other income is $12,000. And that is for the mechanic. So we didn't increase that rent as well, too. So this is as is. If you just kept it exactly the way it was, got it to 92% or 90% full, and increased the rates, this is what the value of the property would be. And you can look at all of our numbers inside this folder to verify that what we're saying is correct. Okay. So that's kind of how we put our properties together to sell. And I'm just pitching it out to my list. I'm not listing it on Crexy. Yeah, I'm not listing it on Crexy. I'm just pitching it out to my list and seeing if somebody wants to buy it, but I hope that you guys saw what you need in order to run deal analysis is what you saw today. And if you want to liquidate your properties, the more information, the more organized you can be managing your properties, being more systematic, really staying up to date on your P&Ls and your balance sheets and all the numbers and stuff, then the easier it's going to be for you to be able to sell your properties. Okay. So that was what I wanted to show today. Okay. And if somebody said, I'm interested in looking at this deal. Oh, good. Okay. Tamara's there. So just email me at questions@stacyrossetti.com. That's my email. And I could talk to you and share the information with you. The deal analyzer, all the numbers, everything is completely up to date. You can buy my deal analyzer on my website. Just go to stacyrossetti.com. There's also 6 or 7 videos that go with it to show you kind of how to run numbers and stuff. So if you're needing help running numbers, I highly recommend looking at the deal analyzer. Then we have the course on the website as well, too, if you want to go through the course and really educate yourself on this. Okay. the numbers, when you run a number, when you run, like, let's say you run $40,000 by itself and you run it out like a 7 cap, it's valued at a certain number, right? And then when you run like, $140,000 together and you run it at a cap rate, and you can actually maybe have a better cap rate because you have 3 facilities together, that creates a better value. And plus people, more people want to buy more facilities or bigger facilities than somebody that wants to buy, one facility for, with 60 units in it and stuff. So yes, putting a mini portfolio together will help you obtain a better cap rate and a better selling price. I only buy distressed properties. Okay, Vince, I only buy distressed. Because I like to buy stuff 50 cents on the dollar, and I like to stabilize them. So we don't build, we don't develop anything like that. We just stabilize our properties. It took us like 3 years to stabilize these, and then we'll just sell them off. Okay. That's what we do personally. But my students do income producing properties. I have students building, I have conversions, I have mismanaged facility. I got it all, right? So you can do any type of facility, but we do mismanaged. Is there concern of the big boys pushing out the small guys, pricing you out? No, because the thing is that there is a market for everything, right? Just keep that in mind. There's a market for everything. Some people cannot. How many people right now can afford $250 to $300 a month for storage? Not a lot of people, all right? And it's only going to get worse over the next year or two. So we tend to stay in the $50 to $150 a month is kind of where we're at on our properties, because we just know that that's what people can afford. And the truth is like, I was just talking to Bonnie. She's the person, she's like manages our office. And, we're trying to fill up Fairbird. And she's like, I have somebody that, has one facility and, that has one unit and they want to have a second unit. Like, should I give them a discount? And I was like, yes. I was like, just fill the things up. Give them a 10% discount. Give them, start out at 10. If they don't want to do 10, go up to 20 or whatever. So like, it's like, and I talked to my phone people about this as well too. It's like, it is negotiation time now, right? It is negotiation time. Like, you've got to get these filled. Once you get them filled, you can increase the rates, every, 6 months, you can just a little bit increase the rates. 6 to 9 months typically is what we do, but you want to get them filled. What you want to do. Like I said, we're selling these 3 facilities because I have a facility that I need to close on at the end of July. So whoever's going to buy this, I have a property I'm closing on in June and another one in July. So I need money. All right. That's why I'm selling these properties. And we're going to probably end up over the course of the next year selling more properties. So make sure you stay tuned, listen in for that too. Okay. All right. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys at the next session. All right. Take care.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storage Nerds. Hope this informative conversation inspired you to go out there and jump into this highly profitable business venture that people rarely talk about. Get more tips on storage space investing at www.stacyrossetti.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a rating. Together, let's build that thriving passive income one storage space at a time. Until next time.